Hey guys, so today we are going to do a 1 day review of conversions, and I'm going to break it down into smaller little videos. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time because as seventh graders, you're supposed to already know how to do this, but I know a lot of you forget. It's hard to remember, no judgment. But again, let's just go over real quick what we need to know. Okay. So fractions to decimals. So I'm going to give you an example of a fraction, and it's the famous top in the box. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but the top number is called the numerator, the bottom number is called the denominator, and top in the box means I take the numerator and I put it in a division house. That's the box. So there's my 1, and the 4 is now going to divide into it. Now, I don't know if you ever knew this. Maybe your teacher explained this to you at some point. It was kind of cool when I first saw this. But the reason the division symbol looks like what it looks like is because it's representative of a fraction. The top dot is a numerator, the bottom dot is a denominator, because all fractions are just division problems. And so I'm going to divide. Now 4 doesn't go into 0. How many 4s do you have I'm sorry. 4 does not go into 1. It goes into 1 0 times. So I'm going to, for place value, I'm going to put a 0 there. And so that's super important that you do that, because if you get the decimal in the wrong place, it messes up the whole problem. Now, I know that you know this. I'm going to quickly review this about decimals, but 1 is the same as 1.0. It's also the same as 1.00. It's also the same as 1.000, and I could go on and on forever. So sometimes when you're doing top in the box, think of it as money. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this 1 to $1. Okay. So now I have a decimal, and now I have some zeros. And so I'm going to bring this decimal straight up, and now I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 10? It goes into 10 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Bring the 0 down, and now you ask the question again. How many times does 4 go into this time? I'm going to go look at what's at the bottom. How many times does 4 go into 20? It goes into 20 5 times. When it zeroes out, you're finished. So that is a fraction to a decimal. It works for any fraction. Now let's go and look at mixed numbers. A mixed number, another way to look at that is called a mixed fraction. It means a fraction with a whole number. So I'm going to do 1.1 and 2/5. Okay, this is a mixed number. Now I'm going to put my decimal right here. And that whole number 1, I don't have to mess with. I'm just going to put it right to the left of that decimal. And I can go ahead and, I'm just going to go ahead and cross it out. Now I'm going to do top in the box with 2/5. So top in the box, decimal. So my 2, I just turned it into a $2. 5 goes into 2 0 times. Bring the decimal up. 5 goes into 24 times. Okay, pause. Here's where a lot of students make the mistake, because they see a 0 and they're like, it has zeroed out. But look, you still have another 0 right here. And you need to do something with that 0. So I'm going to bring the 0 down. And I'm going to ask the same question. How many times does 5 go into 0? 0 times. So 2/5 is 0.40. So I'm going to put the 40 to the right of the decimal. So 1 2/5 is equal to 1.40. You can also just write it as 1.4. Means the same thing. I hope that was helpful. You're going to get an opportunity to practice. Go.